go. All right, man. I think we're ready for the CGC.
Part 2
of the, what is it?
Coast Guard jobs in the Coast Guard.
This is a good series, man.
Enlisted jobs in the Coast Guard.
Yeah, people are liking this series, man.
I hope so. I hope we're giving some real information about these jobs.
I just don't know about that Navy video.
Yeah.
When are you gonna put the Navy video in this time? Huh? Is it gonna go in now?
Yeah, you know, maybe I don't want to like overuse it, you know.
And we got it oil for you. Out there on the sea. Here's how it will be. I'm gonna dance with you, pal. You're gonna dance with me.
But
Just put a little clip in.
keep it in my, you know,
in your
repertoire of
your bag of tricks.
All right, so last time we left off, we were talking about BMs. So now moving on, we're talking about FSs, culinary specialists.
Ooh.
So cooks in the Coast Guard and Navy,
Yeah.
pretty much do the same thing. This is one of the rates that usually has a signing bonus attached to it because
Really?
they can never, at least for the Coast Guard, they
Yeah.
can never retain cooks because it is kind of a shitty job.
Yeah. See, in the Navy, there's no bonus for cooks because there's
probably a lot of
yeah.
For FS, there's always like, I think when I joined, there was like a 14,000. It had the highest signing bonus.
Interesting.
14,000. It might be lower now, but
They give you an incentive.
yeah, I mean, a cook, especially on a ship. I mean, if you're on a land unit, it's not bad. But the second you go on a ship and you got to cook for breakfast, lunch, dinner, rats. Do you have mid-rats?
Mid-rats.
Yeah, mid-rats. Odd hours of the night, so people that are getting off at 2 o'clock in the morning watch.
And you're in the kitchen all day.
Yeah, and it's nasty, and you're cleaning up dishes and stuff. I mean, you have non-rates helping you out with that, but
If you like to cook though, if you like to cook and you like to be around food and you want to like get into that kind of stuff, then it's you'll get a lot of experience.
Yeah, if you enjoy cooking.
Yeah.
I know personally a lot of my friends that were actually like legit, really, really good cooks.
Yeah.
They're the ones that usually got out because they'll teach you how to cook a lot of the basics. So I think there's kind of a limit, at least from what I've seen, of like how far you can really go for knowledge-wise. Right. Because you're cooking a lot of basic stuff. But,
I saw on the carriers they would just do a lot of the cooking in those big, huge pots.
Yeah.
Just like stirring the.
Yeah, you're cooking for hundreds, sometimes thousands of people.
So maybe it's different on a smaller ship. The cooks get to be more tactful with their
maybe
food.
a little bit more choice on what they put on the menu, and you do get some say into like what kind of food you can order.
Yeah.
So FSs, damage controlmen, DCs.
DCs.
Whew. So they have a kind of a shitty job, no pun intended. Like they do a lot. They have, like if a toilet's broken or clogged, or they call them the DCs.
Really?
Like on our ship, yeah.
Oh, really? See, in the Navy, they would have the whole techs. There's a rate called HT that's just for like plumbing and like.
Prime example of how like you have all these different rates in the Navy that is condensed in the rate for a Coast Guard. So DC, I mean, they do a lot more. They do a lot of like
Damage control.
stuff. Yeah,
it's damage control.
Yeah.
So, like they're in general quarters. Like when there's GQ drills and on the ship drills, they're the ones that are barricading the hatches. They're setting dog zebra.
Yeah.
Remember dog zebra?
Dog zebra.
They're setting dog zebra. They're setting all the hatches. They're securing everything. If there was a leak, anything in the ship, they're the ones that are going to go patch it.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are going to fight the fires.
Yep.
DC men. They're the ones that are. What is it called? They go to the lockers.
The
DC repair locker.
Yeah, repair locker. So like if there's a fire on the ship or a flood on the ship, like you said, their first thing is they got to contain it, right? So they like contain the area.
Yeah.
That's why they call, you close all the hatches.
Right.
And then they fight the fire or contain the flood.
Yeah.
Mad respect for them, but yeah, it's
definitely a ship like rate job.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Electronics mates. So people.
Was that you?
No, sorry. Electrician's mates.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
EM
EMs,
and ET.
ETs. Sometimes we get grouped together. The training for EMs and ETs in the beginning is very similar because you have to know like electronics and voltage, AC/DC, all that stuff. But then after that, EMs focus more on like the there's the operations side, and then there is the what the fuck is it called? The DCs and the engineering side. So they're kind of more a part of that. I mean, yeah, they have to make sure that you have the appropriate. You can't just plug anything in, right? Like you have to have standard like
Like cord extension cords.
Yeah, extension cords and all that stuff. So they kind of regulate that. They check, if power goes out in a certain area, they'll check kind of.
So EMs are just dealing with electronics on the ship itself.
No, that's
ETs.
Yeah, EMs deal with the, I guess the wiring on the ship, really.
Okay.
And then they work in the engineering to do around. So then electronics technician. So that's what I did. I could probably have a video in itself on that.
Yeah, you can do a separate video just on ET.
Yeah.
Just talk about your.
Yeah. So we'll save that one for later.
Yeah.
GMs, gunner's mates.
Ooh, cool job.
So yeah, again, if you want to do law enforcement, they regulate all the guns on the ship. So our ship had big guns and handheld guns for the boarding team. They had to have accountability for those guns, clean and maintenance the guns, the big and the small. As an ET on my ship, I worked a lot with the GMs. I was actually a duty GM on my ship, so I had to do rounds to check the temperature of the ammo rooms.
The ammo locker?
Yeah, to make sure that they're up to par, check all the sprinkler systems to make sure they're working, and then count all the weapons and make sure they're...
That's the thing, that's good with the Coast Guard. Like you said, you guys don't have that many rates in the first place, and then your crew size is very small. So you're able to get a good grasp of what every single different job does.
Yeah.
It's like for Navy gunner's mates. All I know is that they handle all the weapons.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're the ones that manned the 50 cals. Because like when we're traversing through our ports, or when we're traversing through straits or dangerous spots, we have all our 50 cals manned.
For us,
on the ship.
Yeah, they man the 50
they
cals.
Man them? Yeah.
The maintenance for the 50 cals. You can, if you're ME or if you're striking GM as a non-rate, you can still probably shoot the 50 cals.
Nice.
But yeah, GMs. If you like guns, be a GM.
Pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, HS is Health Service Technicians. Those are basically like equivalent to the corpsmen in the Navy.
Okay.
As close as you can get to like a nurse.
So you guys don't have corpsmen. That's only, you don't have, so that would be your corpsman.
That would be
your health service technician.
Yeah. And they have a lot of good training, so it's a good stepping stone if you don't want to make a military career to go in the medical field after your military service, go HS.
I'm guessing they do like vitals, basic healthcare intake.
And the beauty is they don't stand watches on ships typically because they have to be ready to help anyone at any moment.
Oh, in medical, yeah.
Yeah. And we had a chief and then at like an HS3 or 2, so we only had 2 medical people on our ship. And then, so intelligence specialist. I've gotten a lot of questions about this. This is a bit of a harder rate to get into. There's usually a longer wait list. It's really cool. So when we went on boardings, we got a lot of our intelligence from the ISs. Yeah. So when we go on a patrol, like a GIATF patrol, we'd have, because typically we would not have ISs on our standard crew.
Okay.
They'd come in depending on what kind of patrol we were doing.
Okay.
And the cool thing about ISs is that if you don't like the sea, first of all, don't join the Coast Guard or Navy, but...
What you doing? You don't like the ocean, you're joining the Navy.
But if the ISs have a lot of available land units. You can be stationed in Colorado, which, to my knowledge, there's not very many rates in the Coast Guard where you can get stationed in a place like Colorado.
Yeah.
So, Colorado's awesome.
Colorado's a nice, Colorado, good place to be. But for IS's, Navy side, for me, for my squadron, so we had 250 personnel. We only had one IS. He was an IS-1. He was a first class.
Okay.
And he just ran his own. He did all the intel for our squadron.
Dang.
Yeah, so IS's, it's good advancement in the Navy.
Yep.
Because like I said, if there's only one of you for the whole command, you're going to get a good eval. You're going up against yourself.
Do you know what kind of security clearance they have?
Oh, they need top secret. Yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, I don't really know much. It's hard to say what ISs do because I'm not in the intelligence community.
Right.
And when I saw what they were doing, they were in the blue room.
Yeah.
There's these blue rooms on the ship that we can't go into. Only the top secret clearance personnel.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of hush-hush about what their rate specifically does because...
It's pretty self-explanatory. You would know IS. Obviously, we can't talk about it. It's top secret clearance. You do a lot of intelligence. You deal with a lot of top secret information. Can't talk about it.
Right. So if you want to go IS, just know they're going to do a thorough background check on you.
Yeah.
So if you got anything weird to hide, probably shouldn't go IS.
Yeah.
And then ending this video, the mechanics, the MKs, machinery technicians. So we have this saying in the Coast Guard that the bosun's mates run the Coast Guard and the MKs keep it running.
Really?
And there's a lot of truth to that. MKs on our ship probably worked the most and the hardest on the ship.
So they're just like the engine. They're working on the
manning the engine of the ship.
Oh,
you
wow.
know, which is a big duty, especially when you're underway. If that thing dies, like we're
interesting.
you know,
So yes,
stuck in water.
on smaller ships like that, I can see how that kind of job would be huge.
Yeah.
A big responsibility.
Yeah.
Because like on the aircraft carrier, we had nuclear reactors that powered our ship.
Oh yeah,
So we had
techs.
we had the nukes. You know, we had people on those reactors. You know, that powered our stuff. We had like engineering and like, you know, machinist mates rates and jobs, but I don't really know what I didn't really go down below like the galley level. There's so many decks on the carrier. I pretty much just stayed like 01, 02, 03 flight deck, like a couple. I didn't go all the way down, and I didn't know what the hell goes down under there.
I mean, if you're a grease monkey, if you like working on cars and mechanics, MK might be a good rate for you. Just know that you're gonna be busting your ass. And the one benefit though of being an MK
Turning
is
wrenches.
yeah, you're the one usually working hard, and when we pull in the ports for like fueling stuff, they're usually the last ones to leave, kind of thing. But they get the most props. They get a lot of awards. When they can afford to give them free time, they give them little extra benefits. And then if you like law enforcement, MK's MSST, I had a buddy who was an MK. He went to the MSST. You can still do a lot of law enforcement training. A lot of MKs. You need a MK on the boarding team because we take the small boats out. So you know
to work on the boat.
Yeah, in case the boat goes down too.
So pretty much you're saying in the Coast Guard you can do a lot of cross training regardless of your job. You can get into a lot of different things on the ship just by volunteering.
Yeah, just being on a big ship, you can get into a lot of the different types of jobs.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides of such a huge crew on the carrier. Like, I can't be like, hey chief, I want to go work with the rib or, you know, do small boat ops. Or like miners, you have like 20 hours of maintenance to do on the helicopter.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah. So,
pick your rate, pick your fate, pick your branch, pick your.
I'm glad. Yeah, pick your rate, pick your fucking fate. So
yeah,
ETs got a lot of shit because we didn't stand a traditional watch like the BMs and MKs did, which was like, you know, 3-hour watches depending on your rotation.
But then I'm sure BMs then had positive where they didn't have to do something that you did.
Yeah. There's always
a give and take, a plus and minus.
Yeah, but we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of shit for that, for not standing that kind of watch. But I try to tell people as ETs, for us, we're on call 24/7.
Right.
I mean, so are MKs, because if shit goes down, they got to fix it. But usually there's a lot more of them. Whereas us, it's like
there's only a handful.
4 or 5. Yeah.
Like, hey, something's wrong. We need Chris.
Yeah.
Even if you're sleeping.
Yeah, 3 in the
waking you up on your rack, like pull your curtain. Chris.
Yeah, dude, I hated that. That was the worst feeling.
Remember?
Fucking the red light scene.
Yeah. I'd be like in my rack. It would happen to me too because I was supervisor on my second deployment. So I was day check supervisor, and I would, if anything would go wrong from day check to night check, I'd get miners. Hey, AO1 needs you. Hey, your chief has a question. I'm like, dude, just went to sleep, man. Worked 14 hours. He's like, hey, miners, come on.
Oh, that's
like,
really
no.
bad memories.
You have to throw on your uniform. You're like,
yeah.
What, chief? What'd I do?
It was it was the worst. And then for us, sometimes we'd have to work on some complicated ass shit, and I'm not even like awake.
Yeah.
And that'd
be a good video to talk about, just like those experiences, getting woken up in the middle of the night.
Oh, they were the worst, especially when it was like an easy fix or, you know.
We need to do a video about man overboard in general quarters.
Yeah.
Like what we experienced.
Yeah.
Because we would have so many drills.
I have a really good story about that.
We have a lot of GQ drills, general quarters, and we didn't do anything squadron. They do like all squadron people. When there's general quarters, just go in your work center and close the door.
Oh, dang.
Just wait.
Depending on our drill, we'd be either really active or kind of.
But I do have some crazy stories to tell about other people, about other things that have happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for those videos. And is this part 2?
Yeah, this is part 2. So that concludes part 2. Thank you guys.
There will be a part 3.
Don't forget to subscribe. We really appreciate that. And JT Suits. Don't forget to subscribe to him. I'm sure if you're subscribed to me, chances are you're already subscribed.
There might be some person that's like Coast Guard video. See,
there's
this Navy guy.
For those 3 or 4 people that are not subscribed to JT Suits, please go to subscribe.
Check out the channel.
And may the force be with you and Semper Paratus.
Semper Peace. See you guys.